And so there's right there. Now, in June of 1995, right after the bombing, Bill Clinton gave a speech in Hanover, New Hampshire, and he said that the bomb used in Oklahoma City was a miracle of technology. Now, the government, in the meantime, is telling us that the fertilizer bomb was used in Oklahoma City, and now Clinton comes out and says it was a miracle of technology. This is all well documented in the American Free Press, by the way. So you have a major cover-up. I made 2 trips to Oklahoma City out of my pocket and checked into this case, and there's absolutely no question about it. It was a government operation. In the meantime, Terry Nichols, one of the co-defendants in the case, has filed an affidavit with the U.S. District Court in Salt Lake City that Larry Potts, number 2 man in the FBI at the time, was the person who orchestrated the Oklahoma City bombing.
And that McVeigh was working for Black Ops, and we had Jane Graham on yesterday, who was on the 9th floor, and she said she saw McVeigh going up and down the elevators. She saw guys with gray sticks of butter and wiring, and we know police officers said they saw the same thing, like Terrence Yakey. Then he basically got, killed. All of this going on. And you have the building blown out, not in, and you've got, at the same time, Clinton saying it's going to happen again, and not even a veiled threat saying it's going to be blamed on the Tea Parties.
Right. That's right. It's all more part of the master plan in order to to declare martial law. We know that they've got guillotines scattered around, at least 30,000 guillotines in I think they're in Atlanta right now. We have coffins that are stockpiled in Georgia. It just so happens that in 1995, the state legislature in Georgia passed a law. They would allow inmates who were given the death sentence to be executed by guillotine.
That's right. More than a decade ago, you said they were stockpiling plastic coffins everywhere, and now they're on the news, and they admit they're stockpiling them everywhere.
That's right. That's right. And they, now Georgia, 1995 passed this law which allowed them to bring guillotines and also coffins into Georgia as an excuse now that they prepped in anticipation of doing this on a national basis, I believe. And absolutely, there's no question about it. And so, it goes on and on and on. And by the way, I might mention this also. In the Fireman's Magazine, September 1995, the editor wrote an article about Oklahoma City, and the information he obtained for the article came from the Oklahoma City Fire Department. And in that article, it says that 4 different conventional bombs were removed from that building, from Oklahoma City, from the Murrah building in Oklahoma City. 4 conventional bombs were removed. So I think that what happened is that the barometric bomb went off, and it was to be followed by 4 other bombs that would have completely destroyed that building, but they did, for some reason or other, the other 4 bombs did not go off, so they had to remove them. And they stopped the rescue process for like 5 hours while they ran in there and brought a bunch of files out of Oklahoma City. And then, of course, we know about Terrence Yakey. They said that he committed suicide. Well, I mean, that's pretty tough to do because he had 13, by the way, injuries to him, including to his arms and I think on his neck. And of course, he was shot, and there was blood in his car, and his body was like, I think a mile off the highway or something along that. So a good distance off the highway. So, that's all part of the cover-up. Yakey I talked to his wife at one time, and he had a video. He was a video buff, and he had a video camera right there at the time of the Oklahoma City bombing, and he came over and started taking pictures with his video, and they wanted that. The New World Order boys wanted those pictures from his camera in order to quash the next.
Well, that's right. We've interviewed Colonel Craig Roberts, who was a police officer also in the area, who talked to his partner. And the last time Terrence Yakey, Cop of the Year for saving all those people in the building, was heard from, he was going to his secret storage facility outside the police department out in the country where he had these materials. And he said, I'm being followed by feds. And then they found his body. He'd been tortured to death trying to find out where that video was. And we had all those other video cameras from the local bank and the YMCA that the government declared national security on and wouldn't release. from the Oklahoma City bombing. As close as you can tell from your research, and it did come out in mainstream newspapers that the FBI head of counterterrorism was there for the week before, was there the day of the bombing. He'd lied about that. He'd said that he'd flown up from Dallas that day, that morning, but it turns out he is lying. But then you've got the Southern Poverty Law Center in declassified documents running Elohim City. You've got McVeigh there. You've got Andre Strassmeyer there. You've got all these people. From your research, as best you can tell, how was the operation run?
How was it run, you say?
Yes, sir.
Well, when you say how was it run, I mean, there was an inside investigator told me, an investigator for the defense, by the way, told me there were at least 11 other people involved in it. So it took a team of people in order to pull this off. You can't just run a truck in with a fertilizer bomb and explode it. And
well, that's what Jane Graham said. She said there were Army guys and McVeigh crawling all over the building.
That's right. That's right. So it was, well planned and well run. They were real professionals. So these guys know what they're doing. And but the only trouble is that the 4 conventional bombs didn't explode, so they didn't bring the whole building down, which jinxed their overall plan to bring the building down. But anyway, at least we have the documentation in that magazine article. But I've got this report. This is a 222-page Oklahoma City report. It's in my CD. It's in among 52 other reports. And this report is available, Alex, for $35. All my reports, 6,500 pages of reports, including 911, Oklahoma City, and what have you, and the Nebraska case, and Finders, the child kidnapping by the CIA. Excuse me. And these are available to the public. If you folks want to send $35 to me, you want me to give my address, Alex, or what? Absolutely.
And the address is at tedgunderson.net, correct?
Yeah, that's the, but send $35 and I'll send you this CD, and then I want you to make copies of this CD and get it out to your friends, because this is all documentation we're talking about here on the radio show.
Absolutely, and you deserve the support as well. Give out the address.
Yeah, okay, send $35 to Ted Gunderson, Gunderson, 6230, like Apple, Wilshire, Wilshire Boulevard, Unit 6, Los Angeles, 90048. That's Ted Gunderson, 6230A, Wilshire, Wilshire Boulevard, number 6, L.A., California, 90048. Send me $35. I'll get this CD out to you right away. And then I want you to make copies and get copies to your friends. This is the best documentation that I can come up with. It's all my reports, 222 pages of just on Oklahoma City alone. I also have 911 in there. The FBI was alerted to 911, I might mention, on March the 20th, 2001, 6 months prior to 911. They were a fellow in the FBI named Keith Kutry was given information about advanced terrorist acts by the Al-Qaeda group, and he was ignored. Michael was ignored. This is again.
Well, Ted, you talked about this day one when 9/11 happened 8 years ago, and then it came out that all these FBI agents, Kathleen Rowley in Minneapolis, and FBI agents in Phoenix, and FBI agents all over the country knew specifically what was happening, and they were told to shut up, and they were demoted, and then those that told them to shut up were given record cash bonuses. That was in the Washington Post.
Right, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. How is the FBI broken up? Because we know the average FBI agents, is doing kidnappings and bank robberies. What divisions of the FBI are involved in the really dirty deeds, and how do they liaison in to the private contractors, into the CIA, and to other groups?
Well, the Domestic Intelligence Division, which would be Division 5, is the one that would be handling this. And they also handle, by the way, the Kennedy assassination and some of these other sensitive investigations. And they have liaison with key people and with the politicians. And their activity, the agents assigned to domestic intelligence, are coordinating this with CIA, Army intelligence, primarily Army intelligence, and they have a nationwide operation that's designed. It's really a terrorist operation designed against the average citizen to expose us and to come after us and to cause it, raise hell and raise havoc with us and with our activities and discredit us.
And the average FBI agent doesn't really know anything about this, do they?